Thank you. Bye-bye.
Sorry I made you late for your lunch date, boss.
Yeah, well, you're not going to make me any later. Now, you know how I want this case handled? You go to it, okay?
You don't have to growl at me.
That is my stomach. That stereophonic hunger you're hearing. Now, close the door on your way out.
Look, I need your time right now.
It's not that I don't like talking to you, Cliff. It's just, look, come back this afternoon, huh? Will you? Maybe I won't be here.
Right now? Pretty please?
All right. You got me. I'm a sucker for good manners. What is it?
Well, I'm on my way right now to have a meeting with my car, and I know that you and he met a couple days ago.
And you're wondering if your name came up in conversation?
Well, it's only logical that he'd ask for a recommendation.
Well, you didn't offer to grease my palm, so I decided to tell him the truth. Let him know exactly what I think about you.
What'd you do that for? What'd he say? Come on, you gotta tell me. I gotta prepare my defense statement.
I told him you were a very fine attorney, the best assistant on my staff.
You did?
And then I told him you were also a klutz, but he should try to ignore that, difficult as it might be.
Thanks, I think.
Oh, good. Give my regards to Mike. Terrific, terrific. Maggie, I am out to lunch. Oh, fine, fine. No, you'll have to let her in, otherwise she'll park herself out there all day, won't she? Okay. Yeah, right. You owe me one for this. If it hadn't been for you, I'd be gone by now. Come in, Raven, come in. What is it you wanted?
Hi. I was just in the neighborhood, and I thought you might like to go out to lunch.
Funny, I just lost my appetite.
I have to talk to you.
If you came here for idle conversation, you came to the wrong place.
Oh, no, this is the right place. You're the district attorney? Well, this is a police matter.
Oh, well, if this is official business, let me refer you to my colleague here, Mr. Nelson. You know Mr. Nelson, of course.
Hi, Clifford. How are you?
Hello, Raven. Mrs. Swift. Sorry, I can't help you. You see, we underlings only get an hour for lunch, and I got a very important meeting.
I have to talk to you.
And if I wanted to talk to you, I couldn't now.
Can't you spare just one little second of your
I'm
precious
late
time?
for a luncheon appointment. I've kept her waiting long enough as it is.
Her? Sounds like a luncheon date.
What's it to you?
You seeing another woman?
I'm meeting April. Satisfied?
Oh, great. That's very nice. My husband and my best friend. It's classic.
We are having lunch together, and then we are going to the hospital to visit her daughter. And before you ask, 3 would definitely be a crowd.
Sounds like the two of you are very cozy.
I'm leaving right now.
Oh, Logan, don't get so defensive. I just want to have a nice, quiet little talk.
We don't have nice, quiet little talks. We have loud, ugly arguments.
Hasn't April talked to you yet?
That is another thing. I don't like the way you're using her. I don't want her in the middle of our problems.
Well, I'm sorry, but I can't find another way to get a message to you. You have made yourself totally inaccessible to me in mind and body.
You must have given her quite a performance. You almost had her convinced that you were a changed woman, that the reason you wanted Jamie back was because you loved him so much.
Well, I'd like to convince you of the same thing.
Okay, all right. We will talk about it. We will sit down and try to talk sensibly, but not now.
Okay. I'll wait here.
You'll wait? See those papers on my desk? What do you think they're for? They're not for making paper airplanes.
Well, then let's have dinner tonight.
All right, all right. I guess we might as well get it over with as soon as possible.
Great. I will give you a call and we'll pick a restaurant.
Fine. Now, what was this police matter that you wanted to talk to me about?
It has to do with your choice of babysitters. I must say that as a mother, I vehemently object to your hiring cops to babysit for Jamie.
They're also friends.
I thought you loved Jamie. I think that's totally irresponsible. Hiring people who know nothing about caring for babies.
They're learning, which is more than you ever did.
I want you to call them off immediately.
Why, Raven, why? So I'll hire some elderly matron that you can wheedle Jamie away from without any problem?
I want you to call them off for Jamie's sake.
They are staying for Jamie's sake. Now I've got to go.
So do I.
Dinner tonight is going to be just swell.
Hello, Raven.
Hello, Chief. Hi, Doctor.
What you doing in this part of town?
Well, I've just been to criminal court to visit the district attorney, and I thought I'd stop and have some lunch.
Well, the crowd seems to be thinning out. You ought to be able to get a table.
I'm sorry I didn't come here sooner. I see you're already finished, or I would be aggressive and liberated and invite myself to lunch.
Well, I could certainly use a second cup of coffee. How about you, Miles?
No, as a matter of fact, I can't. I gotta rush back to the office. Don't let me hurry.
Oh, hey. That's on the department.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much. Raven, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
I'll tell Nicole you said hello.
Please do. Come on, sit down.
Thanks. Would you like some coffee? Oh, yes, please, please.
I'd like some more, too, please.
So, I hope I didn't interrupt any police chit-chat.
Well, if I'm not going to worry about it, don't you worry about it.
Well, I'm happy we bumped into each other.
I am, too.
Are you?
Uh-huh.
Good. I was worried you'd be upset.
Why would I be upset?
Didn't you hate yourself this morning?
No. Why should I hate myself this morning? Nothing happened last night.
Well, I thought you'd be kicking yourself for not seizing the moment.
I told you before that I usually don't even kiss on the first date.
Well, I usually don't throw myself at every man I meet either, but I just didn't want you to think less of me for what I did last night.
I don't. The little dinner party was the nicest one I've been to in a long time.
Oh, it was so nice, but you just had to refuse dessert.
Raven,
Yes.
we are going to take this little relationship one step at a time.
Okay. Whatever you say.
Okay.
By the way, I just thought that you might like to know the reason I went to see Logan, because it does concern you.
Oh? Is he going to be coming after me with a shotgun?
No. Our relationship is none of his business.
Uh-huh.
It has to do with his babysitters. It seems he hired 3 off-duty policemen to take care of my son.
Stoner, Saxon, and Guthrie, sure.
You know about it? How could you okay that? It seems like a total waste of manpower to me.
Well, the 3 of them are taking care of Jamie on their own time. I've got no control over what they do.
Well, that seems ridiculous,
Well, it may be a little bit unorthodox.
to say the least. Oh, Derek, I'm sure that if you give it some thought, that way down deep inside, you'll feel exactly the way I do. It was, Oh, Eliot, please get me another drink.
What for? You're sky high already.
I am. I love this music and I love this place and I want another one of these.
Well, I let you talk me into coming here, I'll never know. These lights are killing my eyes.
Eliot, the Electric Balloon is the hottest disco in Monticello, so come on, let's dance.
Tell me when a tango comes on.
You are no fun.
Hey, I was hoping we could have a nice, intimate little dinner.
Look at the unicorn.
Yeah, what's wrong with the unicorn? It's my club.
The unicorn is dull. D-U-L-L. When you leave that place, it's like somebody just died.
Well, it has lost some of its charm since I was last there.
Look, Eliot, the place was chic last summer. These things go in cycles. Now it's just a bore.
It was so sad seeing all those empty tables.
You know, you should sell this place some of your tables. There's certainly enough people here.
I wish half the clientele in this place would boogie on over to the unicorn.
Forget it. Discos are in. Come on, let's dance.
No, let's leave.
Oh, I'm gonna go powder my nose.
Give me the tablet.
Can I get my check? $32.50.
Can you break 100?
You bet.
This is certainly where the money is.
Derek, come on. they say about all work and no play.
Raven, I really have to finish these reports.
Oh, you just don't want to see me, is that it?
Believe me, nothing could be further from the truth.
All right, then. You have another date? What?
I've got a date with a stack of file folders.
Come on, I know this sounds really silly, but ever since I saw you at lunch, I can't get you out of my mind.
Seeing you was a very pleasant way to start the afternoon.
Am I coming on too strong by inviting you over here or what?
No, of course you're not.
Look, I realize that we haven't known each other very long, but I miss you.
Well, look, we'll make it another night real soon, I promise.
Derek, I cannot spend my night alone. You don't know how I need to be with you. Please, give a girl a break.
Well, I suppose I could come in early tomorrow morning.
Wonderful, wonderful. Look, meet me at this place called the Electric Balloon. It's on Wilmot, okay? I'll see you there. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. What are we doing in this place?
Isn't it wonderful? Come on, let's go down.
Oh, no.
No, we're going to sit this one out.
Oh, all right, my table's right here. I am so glad you could come.
Raven, if I had any idea you were inviting me to a discotheque, I wouldn't have been so easily coaxed out of my office.
Is it not private enough for you?
Let's just say I'm not the discotheque.
Is it beneath the dignity of a police officer?
I didn't say that.
Oh, then you didn't want to see me.
I didn't say that.
Derek, don't be so straight. You've got to relax. Come on. Don't be so uptight.
I suppose you think I'm just an old turkey, huh?
Yes, you are. You have to let your hair down, and I am just the woman to teach you how to do that.
Raven, you're a pretty person.
Oh, does that mean you like all the pieces?
Just what are you all about, Mrs. Swift?
Raven! I told you to call me Raven. I am legally separated from Logan.
I'm sorry, you're right. Raven.
Why can't you just forget about Logan?
Because this whole situation has me a little unnerved.
Look, I'm sorry things are going a little fast. It's just that you are the most exciting man I have ever met since my separation.
I'm glad you did.
And I'm not just interested in a one-night stand. I really, really like you.
I like you too. I just don't know you.
Well, I'll give you plenty of chances to get to know me. Believe me.
I want a chance, but I want to take it slow.
Okay. Look, when I solve some of my personal problems, I'll be more myself again. I haven't been much myself lately.
Come on. You couldn't have a care in the world.
It's not true. I can't stop thinking about my baby. I'm really worried about Jamie.
He's all right, isn't he?
Well, he won't be for long if those police officers that Logan hired stay on the job.
It really bothers you that 3 detectives are taking care of your son?
They are policemen, Derek, not babysitters. It horrifies me. I know something terrible is going to happen. It's just a mother's instinct.
Raven, I'm sure they're doing a fine job.
They're armed. I mean, an accident could happen.
If it really bothers you so bad, why don't you sit down and discuss it with Logan?
Because he won't talk to me. I asked him to meet me here tonight. He wouldn't come. See, I can talk to you. I know that. You could help me out of this problem. And you would really be helping Jamie.
I could?
Yes. You're the police chief. You could call off the 3 Musketeers.
I can't do that.
Oh, come on, why not?
Because there's no law against moonlighting. What they do in their own time is none of my business.
All right, then. Why don't you give them a couple of extra assignments, and that way they can't babysit. It would be better that way anyway.
I'm not going to interfere.
Derek, this is so important to me. Please do me this favor.
So, that's what this whole thing is all about, isn't it?
Wait a minute, what are you talking about?
The reason I am such a fascinating person is because I've got something you want.
You sure do. You do have something.
I've got the ability to call off those watchdogs.
It's not true.
They told me you played games. They just didn't tell me how dirty and underhanded you could get.
Derek!
Jamie, how you doing? Come here. Steve? I think we better call Logan.
Why, what's up?
This baby's sick. He's burning up with fever. Horrible. She made it sound so awful.
Yeah, doctors are like that. They don't like to make promises, you know?
There's Miles. Miles?
Oh, for heaven's sake. What are you all doing up here in pediatrics?
It's Logan's son, Miles. He was brought in a short while ago. He has a dangerously high fever, and they're quite worried about it.
Oh, dear. Sorry to hear about that.
Steve and I were babysitting when it happened.
Miles, do you think there's anything you can do to help?
Well, who's the doctor?
Dr. Santos.
Ah, well, that's all right. That's the best. Isn't Logan here?
Yeah, he's here. He's making a phone call. He's calling Raven.
Yeah, Dr. Santos thought that she should be informed.
Well, I guess she is still the child's mother.
Drunken, you're angry, that's a bad combination.
I'm not angry. What do I have to be angry about?
Because your friend Mallory turned you down. You don't like being turned down, do you?
Don't wipe that off. You look much better wet.
I was right, wasn't I? You asked Mallory here to be your partner in crime.
I asked him here because I like him. Because he's very attractive and I find him very sexy.
Because he's also the chief of police, and it's very convenient to have the chief of police on your side when you're contemplating a crime.
You're just jealous. I saw your eyes turn green when he came down, and don't tell me it was the lights.
What did he say? Come on, you can tell me. Did you ask him to help you kidnap your boy?
No.
Yeah, that's too brazen even for you. I know what it was. You asked him to call up those babysitters of his. That's it, isn't it?
Why don't you go dance with your little friend?
That was it, wasn't it? Of course. Three of his finest are guarding Jamie, and you asked him if he would call them off for you. That's it.
Eliot!
Don't you dare.
Oh, what's the use? I'm never going to get my baby back. Everybody in Monticello is against me. Logan is the district attorney. The police chief is his friend. Nobody will stand by my side, not even you.
Oh, come on. I'll be by your side, honey. I'll be by your side. But as a lover, not as a kidnapper.
Eliot, it's not fair. Look, I'm the baby's mother, and I can't even do anything. It just makes me sick!
Oh, you baffle me. Sometimes you know that. Sometimes you're as obvious as a kick in the head. And other times you're as hard to understand as this Sphinx.
You never believe me. Can I have another drink?
No, that's enough. You've had 3 too many already. Come on, let's go. Let's go.
I can't. If I go home, I'm gonna have to look at that empty crib.
Oh, you shouldn't have bought the damn thing. It was premature. It was obvious.
I am not going to be happy until Jamie is in that crib. Do you understand? And if you won't help me, who will?
Raven, look, I'm tired of talking about that. Let's talk about something else. Hey, honey, look, I got a great idea tonight. You know what? I'm gonna make us all rich. I'm gonna turn the unicorn into a disco, into a money-making machine like this. How do you like that? Huh? Then you'll have your own private club. I'll tell you what, I might even call it the Raven. How do you like that?
Will? I'll help you. I'll help you. We can design the thing together, okay?
Yes.
Eliot, let's do everything together.
Including kidnapping?
You don't love me.
Oh, I do. That's why I'm taking you home right now. Come on, let's get out of here. You certainly don't waste any time, do you?
This drive has made me disgustingly sober.
You did nothing of the sort. You're abysmally sauced, darling. And you know that you're not at your best that way.
I need a drink. When you need a drink, you get a drink.
I'll always have a drink when I have a reason, and that's a celebration, normally.
Well,
Sit down.
I do have a reason, because I want to forget something.
Oh, yes, here we are. The tragic heroine. That's the part you like to play. You see yourself as this, what's it, poor, frail creature all alone against the brutal world, do you?
They're winning, Eliot. Don't you understand? They are victorious. It just makes me so mad. First they take away Jamie. Now they're going to take him away for good. And I know exactly what Logan's going to do. He's going to go to courtroom and he's going to prove that he's Jamie's father. And then as soon as he establishes paternity, I don't have a chance of winning in that courtroom.
Well, you can still put up a little fight.
I'll lose. I know I'll lose. Because he's going to prove to everybody that I was a rotten mother. And he's going to show that I abandoned my child with that stupid letter.
Oh, yeah, the famous letter you gave to April and Draper, yeah, permission for them to keep the child.
And she still has it, I know, because I asked her. And if Logan gets it, then I'm finished.
Oh, come on, don't be so depressed.
And they'll never let me see Jamie again, I know. I just can't stand it.
Oh,
I can't.
Oh, Blackbird, you know, I just can't figure you out. You know that.
This is getting a little silly, you know. You really ought to take off. It could be hours before we know anything.
Just don't like the idea of leaving you here alone.
I'm hardly going to be alone. The place is full. There's nurses, patients, doctors. I got lots of company.
Busy?
Oh, Geraldine, hi.
Hi.
Logan, I'm sorry.
What are you doing? How'd you find out about this?
Miles told me. Have you heard any news?
No. Still got him in the emergency room. Running tests, trying to get the fever down. It's sky high.
Well, now that you have someone to stay with you, I think I can be getting along now.
Okay.
Oh, Logan.
Yeah?
Perhaps you'd better try Raven just one more time.
I called her half a dozen times, Geraldine. She's not home.
Well, then perhaps I'll try her myself. She really ought to know what's happening. No matter what. That is her son in there. I'll be in touch later.
Sit down.
Can I get you a cup of coffee? Can I, is there anything I can do?
Want to hold my hand? Oh, I was teasing. No, you're being here. That's a lot. I'm very grateful.
Oh my God, Logan, your hands are like ice. Are you all right?
Okay, I'm fine. Scared, that's all. Afraid of what's going on in there. I don't know what I'd do if anything happened. I think I'm prepared for almost anything. Anything except that.
Hello?
Raven, thank heavens you're home at last. It's Geraldine.
What do you want?
I'm calling you to tell you about Jamie. I'm afraid he's been taken ill.
What?
Raven, I'm at Monticello General Hospital in the pediatric section. And I think it might be a good idea if you came over as soon as you can.
Is this serious?
Well, Raven, yes, it just might be that.
What happened? What did those people do to Jamie?
Nobody did anything to him. He was simply taken ill. He has a respiratory infection of some kind, and they're trying to get the fever down.
Don't you tell me it wasn't neglect, because I'm not going to believe that.
I am not here. I did not call you to argue with you. I simply called you to tell you that Jamie is now in the pediatrics section of Monticello General Hospital, and we all thought you should know.
Who is we all?
Dr. Santos, Logan, and I. Logan is here now, waiting for further word.
Don't you let my baby die. Do you hear me?
For heaven's sake, Raven, pull yourself together. Shall I tell Logan that you're on your way?
Yes, tell him I'll be right there. Goodbye. Give me that coat.
Oh, boy, take it easy, take it easy.
I'm going to the hospital.
Hey, honey, you're in no condition to go anywhere.
My baby is there. My baby is dying.
I heard you, but you're not gonna do him any good if you travel while you're in this condition.
Didn't you hear what I said? I said my baby is in critical condition.
I heard what you said, honey, I heard. But if you take a rest and take a nap, you'll feel better.
Why does everything always have to go wrong for me? If he dies, if he dies, it's gonna be the end.
Baby, they'll pull him through. Don't worry.
My mother will blame me for it. She'll say it's all my fault.
What does your mother got to do with it?
You idiot! She gave all the money to him. She gave it to him, to Jamie. And that's why I have to get him back, because he's my future. And if he dies, oh God, if he dies, I might as well just die too. Nurse, where is my baby? It would help if I knew your name. I'm sorry, I'm Raven Swift. Well, you could ask your husband, he's right over there. Logan, what did you do to my baby? I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm saying. I know you didn't do anything. It's just that I am very worried.
Worried, huh? Geraldine called you last night, didn't she? If you were so worried, why didn't you come by then?
Because I was sick. I had a virus and I couldn't get out of bed.
Oh, I'm glad you recovered so quickly.
Logan, I would have come if I could have. Jamie means a lot to me.
Well, he means something to you. It's just I'm not exactly sure what it is.
He is my son. He's my own flesh and blood. I am the one who carried him for 9 months. I bore the burden, not you.
Burden, huh? Burden? Is that what Jamie means to you, a burden?
I love him. Why do you think I took so many risks trying to get him back? And if he dies, he won't do either one of us any good, will he?
It's funny. Jamie's the best thing that we ever did together, and now... Well, you know what he means to me.
Oh, I know exactly what he means to you, and I know how you feel, too. Possessive. The only reason you're keeping him from me is spite. You just want to pay me back because you think I did something wrong.
I'm just imagining that you had an affair with Eliot Dorn? Is that it?
Who drove me to it?
Oh, come on.
And besides, it was only a couple of nights. I mean, Eliot Dorn means nothing to me.
Look, this is no place to have an argument.
And you accuse me of trying to steal Jamie back. You're the one who stole him in the first place. You can't deny
Stole
that.
him? I took him back from April and Draper. You're the one who took him away from me without telling me anything.
That
You
is
stole
a
my...
lie.
It's the truth. Your letter shows that.
Oh, the letter
Yeah.
that I gave to April and Draper, giving them permission to take care
Your letter
of
says a
him.
lot more than that, and you know
How
it.
did you know?
I-
Do you have the letter?
No, but I know what's in it, and if I have to, I'll use it against you. Don't
See,
think
that's
I
what
won't.
I mean. Revenge. That's all you care about. You care nothing about his health. And look who you hired as babysitters.
Oh.
Armed policemen.
You're being ridiculous.
That's why
you know
he's
that.
sick. They knew nothing about taking care of a baby.
I was expecting that one. Let me tell you, Jamie's fever had nothing to do with neglect.
Oh, sure. He probably caught the disease from those cops. Something they caught from some street
You
criminal.
disgust me.
Logan. Look, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just very upset. I am scared.
Mr. Swift.
Dr. Santos, this is Jamie's mother.
How do you do?
Nice to
Marie
meet you.
Santos.
Please, can you tell me about Jamie?
Well, the fever is quite resistant. I'm really hoping it has reached its peak. Oh, he's in good hands. Why don't you go home and get some rest?
Yeah.
Doctor, what if the fever doesn't break? He'll die, won't he? He'll die. And that'll be the end of everything.
Oh, excuse me.
I have to talk to you.
See you later, Charlie. Don't tell me it's bad news.
He's alive. But he had a raging fever all night.
I'm sorry to hear that, Raven.
Is this coffee?
Yeah, help yourself.
Logan was there. I think he was there all night.
Now, what do you have to say?
The first thing he did was complain about the fact that I didn't go there last night, and it's your fault.
Mine? Oh, my darling Raven, I wasn't the one who drank all that alcohol. You were in no condition to go anywhere.
Well, I told him I was sick, and he won't find out any different, will he?
I hardly think that Logan and I will be chatting about you very near future, or ever for that matter.
He talked about that letter, the one that I gave April and Draper about Jamie. How could I have been so stupid?
Well, you didn't think it was stupid at the time. You were completely prepared to see the last of your son.
Well, I'm afraid that that letter might guarantee that I see the last of my son because he intends to use it against me if April will give it to him.
Seems to me, Raven, you have more to worry about now.
That's true. If Jamie dies, then the letter won't matter at all, will it? Nothing will matter.
Oh, you don't have to play that scene for me, Raven. You already played it, remember? You already told me why you're so concerned about Jamie's well-being. It's because if you don't get your little son, you don't get your big inheritance.
I should never have told you about that. And besides, it's not true.
Isn't it?
No, it isn't. The reason I am worried about my son is because I love him. The fact that he is my mother's heir is only one of the reasons that I want him to get better.
Good try, darling. But too little and too late. Oh, I understand your reasoning completely. I'm just surprised that I couldn't figure it out for myself.
Don't you dare breathe a word of this to anyone, do you understand?
So that was the reasoning behind all these kidnapping attempts, huh? All these tears shed over your baby's
shut up!
illnesses.
Don't you think I have any feelings?
Oh, I think you did have some motherly pangs when you heard that your boy was ill. But the strongest instinct in your body is that of self-preservation, Raven.
Tell me something. How did you find out that your mother was going to leave her millions to your son? I don't imagine she told you that.
No, she didn't tell me. I found out.
How? What happened in London exactly? I mean, what started all this? Come on, you can tell me.
Well, as I told you before, Mother was not very happy about my going to London in the first place. I suspect that the reason she moved to London was because she wanted to keep Ansel and I away from each other.
Ansel Scott. That's Draper's father, right?
Yes. Ansel and I knew each other before he even met Mother, you know. I used to date him. In fact, I'm the one who introduced him to Mother. Big mistake. Should have realized he would become intrigued by all her money. Some men find money to be the most exciting perfume in the world.
Present company excluded, of course.
Anyway, they got married and moved away to London. And then when I showed up...
Go on. Mama wasn't too happy to see you, but Ansel was.
Well, why shouldn't he be? I was his friend. One day, my mother got an invitation from Lord and Lady somebody or another. She always was a social climber. And Ansel couldn't go because he had a business meeting in London, so he convinced her to go by herself.
Oh, this is beginning to sound familiar.
Nothing happened. He simply invited me to dinner, and I went to keep him company. And then somebody told Mother about it and exaggerated the whole thing, made it sound as if we had slept together.
Did you?
Who, me? Anyway, Mother was furious. And I decided that I had better leave very fast. But I suspected that she was very upset and might change her will, so I went to see this man called Mr. Beamish. It sounds like something right out of Dickens.
And who was Mr. Beamish?
Mr. Beamish was the solicitor at the law firm. He was very young, about 25. He was also very nice to me.
I'm sure he was.
Anyway, he told me it was true. Mother had cut me out of her will. I was not to get a penny. Do you believe it? I have to live the rest of my life on my measly allowance. Anyway, that wasn't all of it. She had also changed the beneficiary from me to my son. Neither Ansel or I was to get a penny. But when Jamie is 21 years old, he will be a multi-millionaire.
So until he reaches that magical age of 21, yeah, he would have to have somebody mature to manage his money for him, right? I see, darling, I see. In order for you to get your money, you have to get your son.
Yes. Jamie has got to live. And he has got to live with me.
Well, what do you think of it? It's not bad, huh? My rendition is a bit amateurish, but I think that's a general idea.
It's very clever. I wish you could have been as clever and helped me.
Well, I can't do the impossible, darling. And neither could you, obviously. I mean, how are we going to get into Geraldine Saxon's suite without using brute force?
I would have done that if it would have worked.
I know you would have. Anyway, Jamie isn't in the suite anymore, so that takes care of Plan E, doesn't it?
That's right. He's at the hospital.
So what?
So he's at the hospital. That's a public place.
Raven, what are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of the same thing I have been thinking of since I came to Monticello. Eliot, you are a genius. And I have got an answer.
Seems as though a harmony is hard to find, always on our mind, and frustrated days pass without sight, the edge of night, half dark, half light, as we watch our hearts trying to hold the tenderness that we once had, halfway glad, halfway sad, the edge of night,